don't make it till you order it. I'm sure these are all slogans that I'm sure you've heard. And we all enjoy eating at these places. But do we really know what we're eating? How many of you have ever eaten at Jack in the Box, Burger King, McDonald's, A&W, root beer, A&W? If you said yes to any of these are all restaurants that are on the list of food that is most likely to kill you. Why, do you ask? Because they sell food that has silent killers, trans fat. Our recommended daily intake of trans fat is 0 grams. One medium curly fry from Jack in the Box has 10 grams of trans fat. One pot pie from KFC has 14 grams of trans fat. Please help me introduce Tien, and she'll tell you more about trans fat.
My cousin died of a heart attack. He went to the hospital after his left arm went numb and his heart started aching. The doctors did not suspect a young athletic man like him would have a heart attack. They sent him home claiming that it was only heartburn. That night, he died at the age of 28. Every year, thousands of people are diagnosed with heart disease. By the time they find out they have this disease, it is already too late. The intake of trans fat is directly linked to heart disease. Trans fat has come into widespread use in commercial food products. Mainly we eat trans fat not knowing that we're eating this fat or how bad it is for our health. Today, I would like to explain what trans fat is, why it is bad for your health, what foods contain trans fat, and who is at risk. This fat is found in many foods we eat today. It was first introduced by Crisco in 1910. It came into widespread use for 2 reasons. It is a cheap alternative for lard, and it has a longer shelf life. Trans fat is like any other fat, except it's been altered by adding a hydrogen atom. It turns liquid oils into solid fats at a lower temperature. On packages, it is labeled partially hydrogenated fat. So what is the harm in this fat? It causes detrimental, negative long-term effects on your health. It is bad for your health because it ages your arteries and makes them more rigid. Trans fat is genetically modified. Most natural fats have a smooth edge and will bounce off your artery walls. However, trans fat has a sharp edge and will pierce your artery walls and clog them. The deadlier thing about trans fat is that its effects are hard to reverse. Once the arteries are damaged, it takes rigorous exercise and a healthy diet to repair the arteries. Many times when the arteries is too damaged or too clogged, the only thing one can do is go through surgery. In an article released by WebMD, it shows that trans fat affects your appearances as well. Trans fat is mostly stored in your stomach, and it will move other fats from other parts of your bodies into your stomach. Researchers have also linked trans fat to diabetes, cancer, low birth weight, obesity, and immune dysfunction. Now that we know the effects of this fat, I will discuss which foods have this fat. Because of its low cost, many industries have begun to use trans fat. Any foods that require butter or oil may contain this fat. Pastries, cookies, cakes, and donuts all have it. Fried foods, especially such as French fries and chips. Some fast foods have cut this out of their ingredients, such as In-N-Out and Wendy's. However, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr., and Burger King still uses trans fat. Restaurants such as IHOP and Hooters contain it as well. Some are deceived by foods labeled 0 trans fat because it might actually still contain it. They are allowed to label their foods as 0 trans fat as long as it's less than 0.5 grams of trans fat. Given how bad this fat is, let me tell you who was affected. No one is immune to the effects of trans fat. In a New York Times article, it states that it causes over 30,000 premature coronary deaths each year. Eating trans fat can double your risk of a heart attack. You are never too young to be affected by trans fat. It damages your arteries despite your age. My cousin's heart attack was linked to his poor eating habits as a child. Constant snacking on goldfishes and Oreos, which had trans fat, had led him to his young death. It is everyone's nightmare to suddenly lose someone they love. Trans fat could cause a sudden death if it is not taken seriously. It is considered a silent killer because it doesn't kill you just after one cookie. Instead, it shortens your lifespan over time. Although it seems harmless, trans fat will lead to serious health problems and maybe even to your death.